Johnson live! If you want the Rock to win his ass to this ring, give me a hell yeah!
Okay, SCI Wrestling back inside of your computer on this, what is turning out to be a rather frigid weekend here in Oklahoma. Man, I tell you, it's colder than a mother-in-law's kiss out there.
Yes, it is.
It is some kind of cold.
It's quite nipply.
Yes, I know because I stepped outside earlier today. Boy, you should have saw what it done to my nipplies. Okay. Yeah. I'm WB Ward.
And I'm Chip Douglas.
And we're here back once again for SCI Wrestling. All the news that is news around the world and up your alley in regards to professional wrestling. And we've got an exciting weekend coming up. If you're listening to this tonight, the Survivor Series is tomorrow, and you're going to hear our predictions on that. If you're listening to it tomorrow, then Survivor Series is tonight, and you're still going to hear our predictions on it. But, however, if you're listening to it later than that, Survivor Series has already happened, and you're going to hear how much of idiots we are.
Exactly.
So that's the way that rolls. So how's your week been?
It's been all right.
You know, you kind of hurt my feelings.
What'd I do?
You walked in here to the studio.
Yeah.
You didn't say word one about my Christmas decorations.
What Christmas decorations?
Look over there. Look up there in the stand. My Christmas tree.
That thing?
Well, yeah.
I don't even know if that's a tree.
Yeah, of course it's a tree. That is the official Charlie Brown replica Christmas tree.
It looks like paper.
Well, it was the best $10 could buy.
But yes, I could. We are definitely in the holiday spirits here at SCI Wrestling.
I have a ball. I posted that on my Facebook, and somebody said, "Bill, you should have got the little blue blanket to go around the bottom of that." But after I spent so much on decorations, I just could not afford that extra little touch. But I don't know. Maybe I'll come up with a blue blanket on that.
You should.
Anything? Yeah, I got some. I do have some news myself.
Go ahead.
I'm going to save this for after the tweet of the week, but it's definitely a good indication just how big WWE has become. I mean, it's just incredibly huge.
Well, before we get to the tweet of the week, let's make sure we say SCI_wrestling.
Yes.
And then our email as well.
Yes, our email address, sci@wbward.com. If you have any questions about pro wrestling in any way, shape, or form, please send them to us early and often. You got that tweet of the week?
I do.
Good thing.
Ooh, there's the thing.
It is.
We rolled right into that.
Well, we did. Just like a dead deer into a wall. Okay. Yes. Here we go.
All right. The tweet of the week is brought to you by Zach Gowen. Do you remember Zach Gowen?
Zach Gowen. Yes, I do remember him.
The one-legged wrestler.
Yes, I do remember him. He tried to sue the WWE.
He did.
He did try to sue them. Unfortunately, you know why it didn't work, though, right?
Why?
Didn't have a leg to stand on.
Oh, jeez.
Thank you very much. I'm here all week. Okay. Anyway, what's old Zach got to say?
Oh, it's short and sweet.
Yes.
And his tweet is, "I quit school because of recess." That's it.
When they had him on, it was a really cool gimmick, but boy, he just gave all new definition to the phrase handicap match, didn't he?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Now, did you hear this story because everyone knows that John Laurinaitis was VP of Talent Relations and he was a complete idiot.
Yes, he was.
And he hired the wrong one-legged wrestler.
Really?
Yeah.
How does that work?
Well, someone presented him with the idea of hiring Zach Gowen. I think it's Paul Heyman.
Okay.
And so John Laurinaitis goes, "Oh, by the way, I hired that one-legged wrestler, but you're completely wrong. He's not white. He's Mexican." And Paul Heyman goes, "No, he's white." Like, no, he's Mexican. And also, he weighs 300 pounds. He doesn't weigh about 190.
Oh, no.
And then he's like, "By the way, he's only been wrestling for 3 months." So,
well, how did they get Zach back up?
Well, after they realized that he did hire the wrong one-legged wrestler,
idiot,
which they had to pay that guy, the other guy, like $60,000.
Hello,
for a WWE contract.
Well, that can get him into a branch office and get another limb.
Exactly.
Okay.
So, but that's a funny story about how John Laurinaitis is an idiot.
That is pretty humorous. And you're not kidding. Zach was white. He makes a jar of Hellman's mayonnaise look tan.
Yes, he does.
He really does. I stumbled across a little bit of information. And this will show to you just how big the WWE has become. Did you know, and this is no joke, did you know that the WWE has a new general manager?
General manager.
And I'll tell you this much. The general manager's name, the new general manager, is Stefan Kastenmuller.
Okay.
Stefan Kastenmuller. Being half German, I like that. Stefan Kastenmuller. He has been named general manager over the WWE offices in Germany, Switzerland, and Austria.
Oh, wow.
It was a newly created position effective immediately. And this appointment marks the opening of the WWE's first office in Germany, which will be located in Munich. And it's part of the WWE's strategy initiative to localize its approach in key international markets. Can you imagine the kind of talent that could possibly arise from that kind of a relationship?
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, this is going to open so many doors for so many talented wrestlers. And you got to admit, it kind of looks like here over the past couple of years, WWE has been kind of scraping the bottom of the talent gene pool.
I disagree with that.
Well, now this is not going to be going down in history as some kind of, attitude era or anything or any other kind of era. I don't think.
No, I agree. I mean, it's nothing to write home to mom about, but I think they still produce some good talent. I think more than anything, to move to the European network, that's just, it's brand recognition. That's all. It's all it is trying to get the WBE name to be even bigger in a market where it's not so big.
I would say that's a good step.
That's a very good step.
Yes.
And in Germany, they love wrestling. They love wrestling.
Well, they just like all them hairy women.
That's true. That's true. Have you been to Germany?
No, I would love to go see Germany.
I
I would love to. I understand that it's just awesomely beautiful. In spite of its somewhat sketchy, political background. The good Lord did a good job of designing that countryside. I'm telling you.
Agreed.
At least with all the pictures I've seen of it, I'd love to go.
Agreed.
Okay. We need to get down to some Survivor Series business.
Yes, we do.
Business. Okay. In spite of the fact that tomorrow night looks like it's going to be a pretty good show, there definitely are some matches in here that just make me want to, and one of them, unfortunately, is for the World Heavyweight title. Cena versus Del Rio. Really?
Yeah. I mean, it's ridiculous.
Okay. I mean,
this is just filler.
This has got to be. I've got to go with Cena on this one.
I do too.
Okay. Bill and John Cena. Okay. We're going to agree on that. I don't even think there's any reason to debate that one.
No, there isn't at all.
Now, I think you and I are going to have a sharp disagreement on this next match. Randy Orton versus Big Show, because they've really done some good build-up. This is one of the better matches.
They did. In fact, the promo video that they've been doing on WWE.com is phenomenal.
Is it? I haven't seen that.
Yeah, you got to watch it after we're done. It's really good.
I will definitely check that out. I'm going to withhold my prediction. I want to hear yours first.
Mine's going to be Randy Orton.
Why?
I don't see them putting the title on Big Show. I think they're just doing this short-term, mediocre scenario with Big Show being the challenger. I'm not for sure who's going to rise to the top to challenge Randy Orton or possibly even win the title, but I don't think Big Show's it. I think they're still going to continue Randy Orton probably, I think, all the way to WrestleMania.
Well, here are my thoughts. And I thought you and I would disagree on this because I kind of thought you were going to go with Randy Orton for those reasons.
Right.
I saw a couple of clues in the last Monday Night Raw that Randy might be turning face.
Oh, really?
And my suspicion is I'm going to predict the Big Show. And once Big Show wins the title, I believe they're going to have Randy's character starting to rebel against the Authority, because the Authority is going to come down on him pretty hard on this. And I think you're going to see Randy turn face as a result.
Huh. I don't know how I feel about that, though.
You think Randy makes a better heel than face?
Well, yes, I do. I'm not a huge Randy Orton fan, period. I think he's been oversaturated. I think a good getaway for him and bring him back at a later date, I think would serve him some good.
Well, probably so, but here's another reason, though, behind another avenue to my reasoning, though. You just brought it up. I honestly think part of what they're going to do is they're going to be going back into WWE history and the checkered past between Triple H and Randy Orton himself. Yeah. Because, they've had some classic run-ins in the past. And I believe they're going to start pulling on that with Randy becoming the face, Triple H and Stephanie still fulfilling the role of heel in management form, and Big Show, I'm not sure if he's going to turn heel or remain face, but I think Randy is going to flip.
We'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see. So are you saying he's gonna turn shortly after Survivor Series is what you're saying?
I would say at least within the first 1 or 2 months.
Oh, okay. Okay.
But not right at Survivor Series, no. Okay. Again, you with your prediction first. Punk and Bryan versus the Wyatt family.
I'm going to say the Wyatt family. The only reason I'm going to say the Wyatts because the fact that I think they're going to build off this. And so I see, well, hold on. I think it's going to be disqualification. I don't think either team's going to win clean. But I think the object of this is you're going to see the Wyatts look big. So that's the reason I'm saying the Wyatts from that standpoint.
Okay, but your official prediction on how the match will turn out, you're going to say double,
I'm actually going to say
DQ?
Yeah, I'm going to say double DQ.
Okay, that's a fair enough prediction because I'm assuming with my predictions that there's going to be a conclusion. But you make a good point. There very well could be no conclusion to some of these.
Good build up to this rivalry.
Good build up into WrestleMania.
I'm kind of disappointed that they haven't put someone else in this scenario and so that way they could bring Bray Wyatt into the match.
You know, I have a little bit of regret that they picked Punk and Bryan to go against them. I think they would have been better served had they went with a more established tag team.
Well, it just shows the digression of Punk and Daniel Bryan. Daniel Bryan was so hot in the summertime and really deserved some big recognition.
Yes.
But he gotten a lot of heat backstage because the fact of pay-per-view buys while Cena's been gone haven't been that good with him being the top billed superstar for him.
Now, what I would have done had I been in WWE Creative was I would have reversed the pure Survivor match. I would take the Rhodes brothers out, put them up against the Wyatts, and then put Punk and Bryan in with the Survivor match.
That'd be pretty cool actually, because you could have the Wyatt family do a quick rivalry with the tag team belts with the Rhodes brothers,
and possibly even work the storyline where Dustin Rhodes joins the Wyatt family.
Yeah, you're right, because it's going to happen. He's going to turn heel.
I believe so. Okay, so we're split on this one. I'm predicting the Wyatts. You're predicting a double DQ.
Yep. Okay,
but that leads us to a quite natural segue over into the natural Survivor Series match.
Yes.
We're looking at a total of 6 people. The Rhodes brothers and the Usos. Oh, no, not 6. 14 people total. The Rhodes brothers, the Usos.
14? No.
Yeah.
No,
7
2,
on each.
4, 5, 10. It's 10.
10 people. Okay.
10.
You know, I'm thinking of the women.
Oh.
Okay. I am. And we'll get to that in a minute. The Rhodes brothers and Usos, and along with Rey Mysterio. What do you think about his return?
I don't know how I really feel about that. I'm glad to see him back. I'm a huge Mysterio fan, always have been. I thought it was kind of weird how they did it. It just was kind of just random.
Yeah, it's just like he just decided, hey, I just thought I'd pop over and
exactly. I mean,
grapple with you guys for a while.
And to throw him in this Survivor Series match, he's had no heat previously with the Shield or the Real Americans. So this might be like a test to get his feet wet again to see if he could still.
He's had no direct heat, but with the storyline with the Real Americans, there's a natural. There's just a natural edge around.
I thought if they're going to bring Mysterio back, he'd go straight for like Del Rio.
You know the biggest handicap that Mysterio has in this.
What's that?
For the first time in his wrestling career, if you measure his height in inches, his height is less than his age.
Oh, really? Oh, yeah. Well, how old is he?
See, he is now older than how tall he is.
Oh, jeez.
So he's
not.
Well, in his case, that would just mean over 18. So that's not saying much. I mean, he's like Hornswoggle's older brother.
He's much quicker.
You know, I'll never forget that one of the classic lines in professional wrestling I ever heard was when Rey Mysterio, many years back, and I forget what the scenario was, but he was in a match against Kurt Angle, and Kurt Angle lost to Rey Mysterio, and at the end of the match, Kurt had this look of absolute surprise on his face, and he kept repeating, "I got beat by a 12-year-old." And that was one of the best lines I had heard. Okay, but back to our predictions here. Rhodes brothers, Usos, and Mysterio against the Shield and the Real Americans. I'm going to go first on this one. The Shield, yes, that they're going to be a strong aspect for their side of the Survivor the Survivor Series on their side of it, but the Real Americans, I think, are going to be losing out quickly. So I believe I'm just going to predict face as a winner on this. Now, which face, I don't know.
I agree. I can actually see them making a big swing for Cesaro in this match. I can see him really carrying the heel team on this one.
Yeah.
So it'd be interesting to see how they do that. But I do think I'm going to take Rhodes Brothers, Usos, Mysterio on this one too.
Okay. So we're agreeing on that. We're both going with the faces on this. And that presents an interesting problem. How in the world do we predict, and what are we predicting on the Survivor matches? Because, I mean, there's
we just
any one of
predict what team wins.
Okay.
Because it's elimination. You gotta remember that.
So whoever is the winner, it's actually their team that wins and not the individual.
Exactly.
Okay, so that keeps it from becoming a round robin or knocking somebody out.
Exactly.
Which brings me to one of my biggest gripes with the WWE.
What's that?
Why don't they do that?
Well, do what?
Like a round robin, a total elimination, every man for himself, or do something like the bull rope matches, or some of the stuff back from the old school. Granted, some of them can get kind of grueling.
Oh, I agree. I think, it's something that always works, and I'm always pleasantly surprised on, because they want to be creative from an aspect of they want to do stuff that's new.
But how can you be creative when you're doing the same kind of match week after week?
Well, here's the thing. They didn't invent the bull rope match.
No, they didn't.
And so they don't want to promote something that they didn't invent.
If they can claim invention on anything, it's how to run the triple threat match idea into the ground.
Oh, yeah, well, yeah, and they actually didn't come up with that idea.
They might as well have, because I'm sure by now the guy who did invent it is just really turning over in his grave. Paul
Heyman.
What?
Yeah.
Paul Heyman was the originator of the triple threat match?
I think so, back in ECW.
I did not know.
Yeah, that's what really started to gain popularity.
I am not surprised.
Very creative guy.
Okay, on to my favorite match of the night.
Really?
The Divas.
Oh my gosh.
Yep, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, it's 14. Yeah, 7 on each team. 14 girls total. You know, that makes for a total of 28. Well, never mind. We got Natalya, the Bellas. Oh my mercy. Ava Marie, Ava Marie, and JoJo is going to be in this. Now that kind of surprised me. I didn't think she would ever be ready. You think she's ready?
No.
I didn't
Not at
think
all.
so either. And I'm really sorry to hear that, because at the first of the season of the Divas, she had her boyfriend giving her a rough time, and he walked out on her because she wanted to pursue this dream.
Right.
And it just doesn't look like it's working out.
She's dating Randy Orton, so.
JoJo?
Yeah.
I seem to remember you telling me.
Yeah, we discussed it on the previous show.
I think so. Yeah. That can't be lasting.
No, there ain't no way.
No.
But of course, the build up on this one is it's totally Divas against WWE Divas.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Did you get that?
Yes, I do. Now that you mention it, I sure do, because you got Natalya, the Bellas, Eva Marie, JoJo, and the Funkadelics.
Yep, every one of them.
So yeah, that's the whole Totally Divas cast right there. Against AJ Lee, Snuka, Rose Mendez, Caitlin, Summer Rae, Oksana, and Alicia Fox.
Yep.
I love Alicia Fox's strut. I love her strut.
Me too. Makes me miss Stacy Keibler.
Yes. AJ Lee and Snuka. Now, there's an interesting relationship. Where do you see that going?
I could see it being, it's like a Shawn Michaels Diesel thing. Snuka will eventually get fed up with AJ Lee, and I think she'll be a challenger to AJ Lee.
Do you think they might even introduce a little bit of sapphic romance? Like
Mickey James, Trish Stratus type angle?
Yeah.
I don't know, they could. They could.
Because it almost seems like there seems to be, how do I say this delicately?
And that is Snuka's real daughter, by the way.
Yes. Yeah, Jimmy the Superfly Snuka. They seem to allow AJ glances now and then that kind of makes me think, I wonder if they're working on that. I wonder if they're coming from this. Okay, but who do you see coming out ahead on this?
I'm going to give it to the Totally Divas.
Totally Divas?
Yeah.
I don't. I just don't think they stand a chance in the world. I hate to say that, but because, I'm a big Bella fan. Unfortunately, I'm also a huge AJ fan.
I'm also a huge Eva Marie fan.
Now, Eva Marie, there's nothing wrong with that?
She's gorgeous.
Okay, so John's going with the faces.
Yeah, I'm going with the Divas, the Totally Divas.
I'm going to go with the heels. And the only reason for that is because, well, quite frankly, I don't think WWE Creative could allow the Totally Divas to win.
I think they should.
Maybe they should, but what they should do as far as what you would call from the sports angle is probably not what you would call from the business end as being good.
Right.
Because I think the Divas and Totally Divas have got their run in the sun. And I think they're going to try to steer the idea back to wrestling rather than to reality TV. Unless, of course, WWE starts their own reality TV show again. Then they may swing back the other way. But for the time being, I believe they're going to want to take the spotlight off of the E-television network.
Okay.
I think that's just going to be a business decision, if you'll forgive me for sounding like the authority.
You do sound like the authority.
Yes, I do. Okay. We have our next to the most sleeper match next, and that's Langston versus Axel. Really? I just don't even care.
Well, I do gotta say, I'm really excited to see that they gave the belt to Langston.
Yeah, that
was really
kinda
cool.
Yeah, no, that's okay. Now I don't see Axel having a snowball's chance in hell of getting that.
No, this is just a replay. Yeah. I think it's gonna be Langston.
And I do too. So you and I are going to be in agreement on that one. Okay. The pre-show, another sleeper. The Miz versus Kofi.
So, am I missing something? Why Miz is facing Kofi? Is Miz turning heel again?
I think he is, because of course he jumped. They had him jump off the ring in Monday Night's Raw when Kofi came over and tried to tag him in, and Miz just kind of jumped off the ring and held up his hands like, hey, I'm not playing this game with you, and went back into the dressing rooms. So I think Miz is starting to turn heel again.
Okay.
I wonder if the audience will buy him as a heel. I don't think they will.
It worked before.
Well, it did, but he's been so ingrained as a face now. I think he would have to come out pretty caustic in order for the audience to accept him as a heel now.
Right.
So I am going to go with the Miz, because it will open the door for him to become a little more caustic. And what about you?
I'm gonna say Miz.
Oh, you're going to be with me on that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Actually, no, I'm going to disagree with you just for the sake of disagreeing. I'll say Kofi.
All right. Just for the sake of being adversarial.
Exactly.
Okay.
Whatever that means.
It means you're opposing what I'm saying.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. No extra charge for the grammar lesson.
Did you see that WWE hired another Indian wrestler?
Indian wrestler.
This guy.
Wait a minute. American Indian or Indian?
No, Indian.
Okay.
Like to be the next Great Khali.
No.
This guy is 7'6".
My goodness. What are they doing with those guys over there?
I don't know. I don't know what they're feeding them. But it's, gosh. It's like and I heard someone's reasoning behind it because of the fact that, well, WWE is a circus.
Yes.
So why not?
Yeah, and it does kind of seem like they go for the freaks of nature. I mean, and I don't mean that as a joke, but if you go back into the etymology of the word with the circus and the sideshows, freaks just simply denoted somebody who was physically different or what society might deem as abnormal, or in this case, abnormally big. But no, I haven't seen this guy that of whom you speak.
Yeah, he's not a wrestler at all. So they're literally taking just
neither was
Khali.
Khali.
Yeah, he was an actor. But this guy, it's just they're sending him to Japan to train, and then after he gets some experience under his belt, then they're going to bring him over for more developmental.
There seems to be a little bit of now that we got all of our predictions for Survivor Series.
Yeah.
I put up a petition on our Facebook page at facebook.com/Insider Wrestling. There's an interesting push on right now to bring an old school person back into the ring, particularly for the Royal Rumble. And that is Jake the Snake Roberts.
Awesome.
And you can go on to our Facebook page and click on the link, and you can sign the petition if you want to. But, I mean, how old is Jake now? Do you know? I mean, he's got to be in his 40s or 50s.
No, I'm thinking 50s.
It's got to be.
Easily in the 50s.
Got to be. Considering the mileage on his body, and then you add the age to it, could he handle that?
I think so at this present moment. He's been training for this for good Lord, probably close to a year now.
Well, I know he has had some problems, some severe problems, I might add, with drugs. Has he gotten over those?
Yes. Yep.
I wonder how completely over those he is.
He's one of the guys that joined DDP's group. In fact, he was the first one. Diamond Dallas Page is doing something like a terrific thing. He does a DDP yoga, but he also does like an accountability house for like some of his friends, to where they live in a sober environment at DDP's house to hold each other accountable. Jake Snake Roberts was the first one there, and he got cleaned up. I'm not going to say he's been perfect. He's even admitted that he hasn't been perfect, but he's still good, and he's back in great shape. He's wrestling again, so he can definitely go. Scott Hall's another one. That's where he got cleaned up at. Was a DDP, accountability crib. So DDP's doing some really great things for wrestlers that he doesn't have to do. He does not have to do this stuff. He's just doing it just because he cares about these people.
Well, now DDP, Dallas seems to be a genuine individual. I mean,
he is.
I've seen him in a lot of interviews, both in and out of wrestling. And he seems to be a person with a very sincere heart. He definitely has a mission within his mind to get people to help who needs it. But, I don't mean to be the undying cynic, but having been around people who have had drug problems, and just when you think they are clean and they are off completely, they can boomerang just literally at the drop of a hat. And I'm wondering if WWE in particularly the McMahons, would be willing to take the chance, irregardless of how many signatures a petition may receive. It would be one heck of a risk.
You're right, but they've taken bigger risks.
I don't know. This one's pretty big.
I think they're trying to set this up to where they can get Jake the Snake in the Hall of Fame.
And then, of course, you're going to battle one other beast as well in this, besides Jake's background with drugs and alcohol, and that's the fact. I mean, let's face it: the modern day society is not really schooled that well on old school wrestling.
You're right about that.
And I'm wondering how big of a handicap that will turn into trying to get signatures on the petition.
I think there's enough underground fans. I don't think we'll know if he's actually going to be the Royal Rumble, because Jake Snake Roberts does come from old school, so so I guarantee he'll keep it kayfabe. So, so he'll say till it's actually go time that nope. Sorry, they never called until we hear that ring music. I don't think we'll actually ever know.
You don't?
No.
You think they will sit on that?
I think they're going to do it. I think they will have him in the Royal Rumble, but yeah, I think they're going to sit on it. I think this year Royal Rumble, we're going to have a lot of surprise entrants just from people in the past. I do think that's where they're going to introduce Hulk Hogan.
I wonder if Jake the Snake does come back, will they bring back Damien or perhaps one of Damien's ancestors?
Yes. You got to.
Should we explain who that is, or do you think people would know?
If you're listening to the show, then Jake Snake Roberts is kind of common. He carries a giant snake to the ring. So,
yes.
When we say Damien, that was the name of his snake at the time.
And wasn't Jake the Snake, the wrestler who, either invented or at least perfected the, DDT?
Yes.
Because he was the first wrestler I can remember seeing do the move, and I thought, man, that is the most devastating move I have ever seen.
Oh, he makes it look good.
He does. He does a darn good
fantastic
job.
Fantastic mind.
By the way, of great moves that really look good, go on to WWE.com because they have a 3.5-minute video of every single tombstone the Undertaker has ever delivered.
Really?
And in 3.5 minutes, these things hit like about 2 or 3 times a second.
Oh, jeez.
And I mean, it what's really neat is you can see the complete evolution of the stagecraft of WWE throughout the years and how they differ, because you can see the backdrop on the stages change within the 3.5 minutes. Okay, we've got our predictions made for Survivor Series, which as we record this show, Survivor Series is going to be held tomorrow night, pay-per-view.
Yep.
Probably, about $40-50, something like that.
Yep.
And of course, if you hear this show tomorrow, you'll be hearing tonight's predictions. And if you hear it the day after, you'll just hear how big of an idiot John is. Excuse me. How big of an idiot
Hey, that's, WWE does it on purpose.
Yes, I do.
They make me look dumb on purpose.
Well, and I do such a good job.
Yeah, you do.
I know. So be sure to be with us next week at a computer near you for just another great, fun-filled, exciting edition of